AT&T countdown to kickoff. Another meeting between Atlanta United and Orlando City tonight. And Atlanta United will be looking for a little bit of revenge because it was a week ago today when they lost 3-1 to Orlando City at Mercedes-Benz Stadium. Mike Conti and Jason Longshore, thanks so much for joining us. And Jason, it's been a very eventful week. We had that 3-1 loss to Orlando, and then Wednesday night, a couple hours after Atlanta United agreed in principle to sell Pity Martinez to Al Nasser of Saudi Arabia, they had to kind of get switched back mentally and go out and play Inter Miami in what turned out to be a tactical struggle that ended in a scoreless draw.
Yeah, it was one of those games where it felt like neither team could get out of second gear. Atlanta had the early chance with Kubo Torres, great ball from Brooks Lennon that we'll come back to, and we'll talk a little bit about how that one was created. But outside of that, there really were not a ton of chances here. Atlanta gets the clean sheet. Brad Gazan gets his 38th clean sheet in an Atlanta United kit. That's tied for the most since the team started in 2017, ironically with Luis Robles, who also got a clean sheet in this one. It was just a bit of a frustrating night where it never felt like you could connect all of the dots.
But you got a point. It wasn't the worst result in the world, and it keeps you above the playoff line, and it puts you in a position tonight in Orlando where if you can get 3 points, you can make a nice move up the Eastern Conference table. But these two teams, their strengths kind of complement each other. Orlando comes into tonight, Jason, third in MLS in total goals scored in regular season matches. Atlanta United, fifth in MLS in fewest goals conceded. Orlando scored 3 against Atlanta United last Saturday, but they've been at a pretty good goal-scoring clip ever since the MLS's back tournament ended.
Yeah, that tournament was a bit of a boost to their confidence levels in this season, and Oscar Pereira has already been working to build that. A big part of it has been the emergence of Daryl Dike, who came into the starting lineup and isn't relinquishing that spot anytime soon, but you'll notice through these highlights, these are all the goals they've scored since the MLS's back tournament ended. A lot of crosses, a lot of play from outside in, a lot of interplay with teammates, and also multiple times where they're following up chances as well. They're not giving up on plays. Set pieces, also a problem. That's been a problem for Atlanta. It was better against Miami, but Orlando gave them some serious problems. They also cause a lot of turnovers, and we saw that on the second goal and the third goal against Atlanta. And when you get a player like Benji Michel scoring goals like this in the midweek, that's a world-class effort, a player who is really starting to come into his own out wide. Benji Michel will be one to watch tonight. Atlanta defensively, though, was much more organized against Miami. It was something we've been talking about a lot on the broadcasts. It's felt like there's been a lack of communication at times because you've seen, frankly, a lot of different lineups in the back. This was one where Anton Walkes and Miles Robinson got to play next to one another for another time in a row. That communication, those connections start to build a little bit. But what we also saw in this one at times, and we're going to have to see it more tonight, is not just scrambling and defending as we saw with Walkes and Robinson there, but also using that as a springboard to creating chances. They're going to have to be able to defend and soak up some pressure tonight. We know Orlando likes to get out wide. We know they like to start their attacks from wide positions. That also means they're going to send a lot of numbers forward, right? So what you have to do is then attack in behind them when you recover possession, because that's where a lot of chances are going to come from. You see here, this led to Atlanta's best chance on the night against Miami, that 11th minute chance for Kubo Torres. Atlanta recovered possession, good organization to win it back. They're on the left side of the field. Emerson Hyndman is the one who pulls the trigger here to switch it out to Brooks Lennon in a 1v1 situation, and Lennon hits an absolute peach of a cross to Kubo Torres on the back post. You're going to see Kubo Torres finish those more often than not.
All right, now on the AT&T countdown to kickoff, let's talk about the players to watch in tonight's match. And, you know, Atlanta United, Jason, they've had a lot of historical success at Exploria Stadium. In fact, they've never lost there. And I thought one of the best individual efforts by an Atlanta United player in Orlando was in last year's U.S. Open Cup semifinal Atlanta United won that match 2-0, and Eric Remedi was the man of that match.
Eric Remedi's been really important to this team this season as well. And tonight he's going to be in a little bit different role. He is in the lineup. You'll see that here in just a minute. He doesn't appear to be playing the defensive midfield role by himself. He's going to have a little help tonight. So that means, like we saw in that Open Cup semifinal, he's going to be able to step up and get forward a little more and be the link between Atlanta's midfield and defending this guy, Mauricio Pereira for Orlando. You look at Pereira, and a lot of times you get blinded by the other stars on Orlando's side, and Nani and Chris Mueller is one of the leading scorers in the league, and we mentioned Daryl Dike. Pereira is the one who holds it all together, and he does it in so many different ways. He'll drop into midfield and help build up chances. He will get on the end of things. This run here to get a goal at the near post, really impressive. Mauricio Pereira is not the player that we talk about in terms of the superstar from Orlando, but he's going to be vital tonight for their success. Eric Remedi's a player that we don't talk about a lot as the superstar of Atlanta United, but a good performance from him could lead to a good result for the Five Stripes.
Yeah, it's a good point. A lot of us tend to focus on, say, Chris Mueller, who's had a very good goal-scoring season. You mentioned Daryl Dike and the start that he's had in his rookie year. And obviously, Nani gets a lion's share of the attention. Pun kind of intended. But Mauricio Pereira is a great player for them. But I have a feeling Eric Remedi is going to be big for Atlanta United tonight. And I think Glassy might agree with us. Let's take a look at Atlanta United's lineup tonight. And you'll notice that there are some changes in the midfield from Wednesday night with Jeff Larentowicz going in. But you're going to see Eric Remedi, it looks like, maybe playing up a little bit further than he did on Wednesday, Jason.
Yeah, Remedi, Larentowicz, and Heineman will form that midfield trio. And we've seen Eric Remedi be able to step up and contribute to the attack. We've seen him also be able to defend by himself. In a match where you're probably going to be under a decent bit of pressure from a very good Orlando City side, Jeff Larentowicz is going to need some help at times. Eric Remedi is going to have to read those moments and drop. Emerson Hyndman's going to need some help at times. Eric Remedi is going to have to read those moments and step up and help and fill those spaces. Behind them, the back line, George Bello returns, which is what we expected. He got some rest on Wednesday night. Walks and Robinson continue their partnership at center back, and Franco Escobar's at right back. And then up top, this is maybe one of the most attack-minded front threes that we've seen in a minute, with Brooks Lennon, who can put in those crosses out wide, Ezequiel Barco, who can drift inside and create that space on the left for George Bello to get forward and put in crosses, and also Barco can pop up in the unexpected spots in the middle of the park. And then Kubo Torres, after playing 90 minutes, he gets the start again. He's going to start to develop a rhythm with these minutes right now, and it's going to be critical to build those relationships with Lennon, with Barco, with Heineman, with Remedi.
No question about it. It also kind of puts into context what Stephen Glass may have been trying to do Wednesday night. For example, Jeff Larentowicz was left completely out of the Matchday 24 load management. Well, now you see the intent. It was to start him. It's tough in a way to be able to rotate your squad when you're playing so many matches in a short span of time. You've got another Wednesday match coming up on the road in Miami on Wednesday. But it really starts to make sense now. The very little rotating that Stephen Glass can do, you're going to see some of that tonight.
Yeah, you have to keep guys fresh right now, and Orlando's been doing that a lot lately as well. Oscar Pereira has made 4 changes from the lineup last Saturday in Atlanta to what he fielded in Nashville midweek. He made 5 changes in that lineup in Atlanta. He's had to rotate his guys as well. Everybody in the league is doing this right now with the schedule compression. It makes these games a little more unpredictable, and it makes these games, in my opinion, come down to those individual moments, especially those moments of brilliance from players that we've talked about a lot in this. Pereira, Barco, those are 2 guys who can change a game by themselves. Those are 2 that I'm looking at tonight.
Well, we hope it'll be a good one. Kickoff a little after 8 o'clock on Fox, and you can hear Jason and I on Sports Radio 92.9 The Game with the radio description. We'll be back with you Wednesday night around the same time as right now, as Atlanta United will play on the road at Inter Miami on Wednesday, and that'll be our next edition of the AT&T Countdown to Kickoff. Thanks for joining us. Enjoy the rest of your holiday weekend, and enjoy tonight's match.